Welcome back to the Ingraham Angle. As we've been reporting, we should be thankful for the economic rebound that President Trump has helped usher in during his first year in office. This is not what the experts or Mr. Trump's critics predicted.
If the unlikely event happens and Trump wins, you will see a market crash of historic proportions.
In the event Donald wins, I have no doubt in my mind the market tanks. If the polls look like there's a decent chance that Donald could win, I'll put a huge hedge on that's over 100% of my equity positions and my bond position as well that protects me just in case he wins.
I'm worried about it. And, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm a free trader. TPP is good for American business. I think NAFTA was good for American business. But you can't get everything in life you want.
Unbelievable. I love those montages. I think I want just that for Christmas. I don't need anything else. Well, it hasn't turned out that way, has it? Everything hasn't cratered. The world hasn't come to an end. Unemployment is down. Blue-collar wages are rising. The stock market is booming, all because America First policies do work and not the problem all the experts were predicting. And in the latest sign of a booming economy, human resources officers from some 500 corporations are anticipating, get this, I saw this morning, a massive 66% increase in cash Christmas bonuses. That adds up to a big surge in gifts and parties and, frankly, happiness for American workers. You know, it's supposed to be the pursuit of happiness, too. That'd be nice. Even the president's lefty critics are coming around to the new realities. Our neighbors to the north at the Toronto Star, at least one prominent columnist, is noting this about the president's negotiations on trade in a piece titled, "Believe it or not, on NAFTA, Donald Trump makes sense." And in The Economist, this blaring headline, although it's kind of grudging, "Blue-collar wages are surging." Again, they don't want to give Trump credit, but I'll take the headline. So what about the never-Trumpers who only pay lip service to the will of the voters? Well, we're starting to get an idea of what they really think. Here's what Weekly Standard editor-at-large Bill Kristol tweeted out last night. He said, "The GOP tax bills bringing out my inner socialist. The sex scandals are bringing out my inner feminist. And Donald Trump and Roy Moore are bringing out my inner liberal." What's happening? Well, what's happening, Bill, is that we now can see that, you know, you're not that conservative stalwart we thought you were before the election of Donald Trump. Well, this year has been filled with a lot of political revelations, and the people you thought you knew on the left and on the right are coming into clearer focus for many people. And as for President Trump's tweets, well, sometimes they can be a little bit self-destructive or distracting. That's true. But I say this, at least we now have an unvarnished view of what the leader of the free world really thinks about issues big and small. And I actually think that's kind of refreshing. And how many Twitter accounts can drive a news cycle all by their lonesome? And he has a direct conduit, a direct pipeline to the American people, which, of course, drives the old lamestream media nuts because they want to control the information you're getting. President Trump says, I'm going to have my say, and I'm going to go right to the people with it. Joining us now for a reaction from Mobile, Alabama, my old friend Quin Hillyer, a contributing editor at National Review, and in New York, another old friend, no one's old, but your dear friends, Andy Stein, a Democrat and a former president of the New York City Council. It is great to see both of you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Laura. Happy Thanksgiving.
Let's start with you, Andy, on this. I personally am really grateful that we have President Trump in office, that Hillary is not president, that we have an economy that looks like it's in the midst of a real recovery, not a anemic, flatlining recovery as we saw under President Obama. Do you agree with that, or am I kind of looking at things way too optimistically at this point?
Well, Laura, first of all, happy Thanksgiving. When I met Donald Trump in 1973, a mutual friend called to ask us to have dinner. He is the exact same person as he was then. And isn't it refreshing to have someone who is really honest and says what he thinks? Sure, occasionally he may put his foot in his mouth, but I think that he's done so well The economy is really strong. I mean, this is $2 trillion that is in the pocket of working men and women. We defeated ISIS in Raqqa, and there's no more talk about a caliphate. He's reduced all these regulations. I think he's doing a terrific job. And, you know, when I first endorsed him in the Wall Street Journal in September of 2016, the people in Manhattan, everywhere I'd go, would say, how could you do that? He's this, he's that. I mean, you have no idea. You played Steve Ratner, some of these other people.
Oh, no.
They went insane. But the truth is that Trump is an extremely caring, sensitive guy. You know, when my father was sick and dying, he would call a couple times a week to see how he was. The same with Bob Kraft's wife. The same with David Friedman, our ambassador.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't know that about him, Andy. A lot of people don't know that about him. Quinn, I know you weren't a big fan, to say the least, of Donald Trump during the primary. You didn't want him to be the nominee. Well, now he's been president for 11 months. The economic rebound that even some of his harshest critics have to admit is here. What do you think now? Are you grateful that Hillary's not president? Or are you still kind of on the fence about how Trump's stewarding the economy?
No. Of course I'm grateful that Hillary is not president. That was never in question. I never wanted her. I fought her for 25 years. I still remain a critic of Trump personally. I think his tweets are not refreshing. I think they are horrendous. But you mentioned the economy. And while I think it's foolish to give him all the credit for the good economy, it would also be absolutely unfair not to give him a significant amount of credit for the economy.